The Olympiastadion Berlin is a sports stadium in Berlin, Germany. It was originally built for the 1936 Summer Olympics by Werner March. During the Olympics, the record attendance was thought to be over 100,000. Today the stadium is part of the Olympiapark Berlin. Since renovations in 2004, the Olympiastadion has a permanent capacity of 74,475 seats and is the largest stadium in Germany for international football matches. Olympiastadion is a UEFA Category 4 stadium and one of the world's most prestigious venues for sporting and entertainment events. Besides its use as an athletic stadium, the arena has built a footballing tradition. Since 1963, it has been the home ground of the Hertha BSC football team. It hosted 3 matches in the 1974 FIFA World Cup. It was renovated for the 2006 FIFA World Cup when it hosted 6 matches, including the final. The German Cup final match is held each year at the venue. The Olympiastadion Berlin served as a host for the 2011 FIFA Women's World Cup as well as the 2015 UEFA Champions League final. History: 1916 to 1934, Deutsches Stadion. During the 1912 Summer Olympics, the city of Berlin was designated by the International Olympic Committee to host the 1916 Summer Olympics. Germany's proposed stadium for this event was to be located in Charlottenburg, in the Grunewald Forest, to the west of Berlin. Thus the stadium was also known as Grunewaldstadion. A horse racing course already existed though, which belonged to the Berliner Rennverein, and even today the old ticket booths survive on Jesse Owens Allee. The government of Germany decided not to build in the nearby Grunewald Forest, or to renovate buildings that already existed. Because of this desire, they hired the same architect who originally had built the Rennverein, Otto March. March decided to bury the stadium in the ground. However, the 1916 Olympic Games were cancelled due to World War I. In the 1920s, the first buildings of a school, the Deutsches Sportforum, dedicated to the teaching of professors of physical education and the study of sports science, were built northeast of the stadium site. From 1926 to 1929, Otto March's sons were assigned to build an annex for these institutions, though the finalization was delayed until 1936. 1936 to 1945, Olympiastadion. In 1931, the International Olympic Committee made Berlin the host city of the 11th Summer Olympics. Originally, the German government decided merely to restore the earlier Olympiastadion of 1916, with Werner March again retained to do this. When the Nazis came to power in Germany, they decided to use the Olympic Games in 1936 for propaganda purposes. With these plans in mind, Adolf Hitler ordered the construction of a great sports complex in Grunewald named the Reichssportfeld, with a totally new Olympiastadion. Architect Werner March remained in charge of the project, assisted by his brother Walter. Construction took place from 1934 to 1936. When the Reichssportfeld was finished, it was 1.32 square kilometers. It consisted of the Olympiastadion, the Maifeld and the Waldbörny Amphitheatre, in addition to various places, buildings and facilities for different sports in the northern part. Werner March built the new Olympiastadion on the foundation of the original Deutsches Stadion, once again with the lower half of the structure recessed 12 meters below ground level. The capacity of the Olympiastadion reached 110,000 spectators. It also possessed a special stand for Adolf Hitler and his political associates. At its end, aligned with the symmetrically designed layout of the buildings of the Olympischer Platz and toward the Maifeld, was the Marathon Gate with a big receptacle for the Olympic flame. To the east of the stadium, there were two field hockey stadia that hosted the competitions that were won by India. Maifeld. The Maifeld was created as a huge lawn for gymnastic demonstrations, specifically annual May Day celebrations by the government. The area was surrounded by 19 meters of land elevation, even though the Olympiastadion was only 17 meters high. The total capacity was 250,000 people, with 60,000 in the large stands that extended at the west end. Also located there were the Olympiapark Alley and the bell tower. The walls were built with sturdy stone from the area of the lower Alps, and also feature equine sculptures. This consisted of huge halls built under the stands of the Maifeld. Pillars were raised on which hung flags and shields, commemorating all the forces that participated in a battle fought in Langemark on November 10, 1914, during the First World War. Since 2006, the ground floor is home to a public exhibit providing historical information on the area of the former Reichssportfeld. During the 1936 Olympics, the Maifeld was used for polo and equestrian dressage events. After World War II, the British military occupation forces annually celebrated the Queen's official birthday on the Maifeld and used it for a variety of sporting activities, including cricket. Starting in 2012, Maifeld became home to the Berlin Cricket Club. Bell Tower. The bell tower crowned the western end of the Reichssportfield, planted amid the tiers of the Maifeld stands. It was 77 meters high. From its peak could be observed the whole city of Berlin. During the games, it was used as observation post by administrators and police officials, doctors and the media. In the tower was the Olympic bell. On its surface were the Olympic rings with an eagle. The year 1936, the Brandenburg Gate, the date 1-16 August, and a motto between two swastikas. I call the youth of the world, and 11. Olympic Games Berlin. Although the Games were the 10th Olympics, they were the Games of the 11th Olympiad. The bell tower was the only part of the Reichssportfeld that was destroyed in the war. The Third Reich used the tower's structure to store archives. The Soviet troops set its contents on fire, turning the tower into a makeshift chimney. The structure emerged from the fire severely damaged and weakened. In 1947, the British engineers demolished the tower. However, it was reconstructed accurately in 1962. The Olympic bell fell 77 meters and cracked and has been incapable of sounding since then. In 1956, the bell was rescued, only in order to be used as a practice target for shooting with anti-tank ammunition. The damaged old bell survives and serves as a memorial. The recreation of the tower was carried out from 1960 to 1962, once again by the architect Werner March. Following the original blueprints, the present tower became an important tourist destination, offering a panorama of Berlin, Spandau, the Havel Valley, Potsdam, Nauen and Hennigsdorf. The most significant battle around the Olympiastadion was in April 1945, when the Soviet army fought to capture it. This was during the final battle of the Second World War in Europe, with the total invasion of Berlin as the Allies' target. The Olympiastadion was one of the few buildings that survived the war almost untouched. It only suffered the impact of machine gun shots. 1945 to 1994, West Berlin era. After the war, the former Reichssportfeld became the headquarters of the British military occupation forces. The administration settled in the northeastern buildings designed by the March brothers in the 1920s, which the Third Reich had used for official sport organizations such as the Reich Academy of physical training and extended by 1936, adding the Haus des Deutschen Sports and other buildings. Soon, the British forces renovated war-damaged buildings but also converted interiors to the specific needs. From 1951 to 2005, the Olympiaplatz had a giant antenna transmitting for all the portable radios in Berlin. For then until 1994 and the departure, British forces held an annual celebration of the Queen's official birthday in the Maifeld with thousands of spectators from Berlin present. During the 1960s, American military and high school football teams introduced hundreds of thousands of Berliners to American football at the stadium in exhibition games. During those years, Bundesliga football matches were played in the Olympiastadion, with Hertha BSC his local team. In the Maifeld, several competitions of football, rugby and polo were staged too. In the summers, the Waldbühne resumed its classical music concerts and playing movies. The theatre was also used as an improvised ring for boxing matches. 1994 to 2004, reunified Berlin in 1998. Berliners debated the destiny of the Olympiastadion in light of the legacy it represented for Germany. Some wanted to tear the stadium down and build a new one from scratch, while others favored letting it slowly crumble like the Colosseum in Rome. Finally, it was decided to renovate the Olympiastadion. FIFA chose it as one of the venues of the 2006 FIFA World Cup. The state of Berlin hired a consortium composed of Walter Bauag and DYWIDAG that won the €45 million franchise. The consortium took charge of the operation of the facilities together with Hertha BSC and the government of Berlin after the remodeling. On July 3, 2000, the renovation began with a ceremony presided over by the Chancellor Gerhard Schröder, accompanied by Eberhard Diepgen, Franz Beckenbauer and Professor Dr. Ignaz Walter. 2004 present multi-purpose arena. The re-inauguration celebrations of the new Olympic Stadium were carried out on July 31, 2004 and August 1, 2004. On that day, Saturday, the party began with performances from Pink, Nina and Daniel Barenboim. It culminated at night with the opening ceremony. On day 2, friendly matches were played between different categories of the club Hertha BSC and visiting teams. On September 8, 2004, Brazil played Germany. In 2011, the venue hosted the World Culture Festival organized by the Art of Living where 70,000 people meditated for peace. Stadium renovation with the intention of creating a more intimate atmosphere for football games. The playing field was lowered by 2.65 meters. Approximately 90,000 cubic meters of sand was excavated. The lower tier of seating in the stadium was demolished and rebuilt at a completely different angle of inclination. The roof was extended to cover a total of 37,000 square meters, with 20 roof-supporting columns carrying a weight of 3,500 tons of steel. The roof rises 68 meters over the seats and is made up of transparent panels that allow sunlight to stream in during the day. The western portion is open to reveal the bell tower to the spectators. The conservation factor of the Olympiastadion as a historical monument was also considered, especially with respect to the preservation of the natural stone blocks. After criticisms, the color of the athletics track around the game field was changed from red to blue, reflecting the colors of Hertha BSC. The renovations used 70,000 cubic meters of concrete and 20,000 cubic meters of precast reinforced concrete elements. Some 12,000 cubic meters of concrete was demolished and removed and 30,000 cubic meters of natural stone was refurbished. established. The Olympiastadion was equipped with the latest technology in artificial illumination and sound equipment. It has 113 VIP stands, a set of restaurants, and 2 underground garages. The total cost of the remodeling and amplification was €242 million. Capacity: the new Olympic Stadium has the highest all-seated capacity in Germany. It has a permanent capacity of 74,475 seats. The upper tier has 31 seating rows at an average slope of 23 degrees and houses 36,455 seats, of which 36,032 are regular seats. 290 are seats on the press stand and 133 are seats in skyboxes. The lower tier has 42 seating rows at an average angle of 25.4 degrees and houses 38,020 seats, of which 32,310 are regular seats, 560 are box seats, 563 are lounge seats, 4,413 are business seats, and 174 are wheelchair spaces. For certain football matches, such as those between Hertha BSC and FC Bayern München, the capacity can be temporarily expanded. This is made by the addition of mobile grandstand over the marathon arch. The extended capacity reached 76,197 seats in 2014. The only stadiums in Germany that have higher total capacities are the Signal Iduna Park in Dortmund and the Allianz Arena in Munich. However, the Signal Iduna Park and the Allianz Arena have both seating and standing areas, and their all-seated capacities are lower than that of the Olympiastadion. The total capacity of the Allianz Arena is also lower than the extended capacity of the Olympiastadion. Tenant. The stadium has been used as the home venue for the Fußball Bundesliga's Hertha BSC since 1963. In 1963, the Bundesliga was formed, and Hertha BSC participated by direct invitation, leaving its old stadium to use the Olympiastadion. On August 24, it played the first local match against FC Nuremberg, with the final score 1-1. However, in 1965, the German Football Association found Hertha BSC guilty of bribery and relegated them to the regional leagues. In 1968, Hertha returned to the first division and to the Olympiastadion, and in 1971 sold Klumper. The second half of the 1970s was quite successful for Hertha BSC Berlin. In 1979, it reached the semi-finals of the UEFA Cup, but was defeated by Red Star Belgrade. Hertha reached the finals of the German Cup twice. In the 1980s, Hertha had a declining role in the Bundesliga, and fell to the regional leagues in 1986, although they later recovered, reaching the second division. With the demolition of the Berlin Wall in November 1989, a spontaneous feeling of sympathy between Hertha and FC Union Berlin from Eastern Berlin arose, which culminated in a friendly match at the Olympiastadion with 50,000 spectators. In 1990, Hertha returned to the first division, although it fell again to the second division from 1991 until 1997. Since 1997, the club has improved, climbing up the Bundesliga table and qualifying for the UEFA Champions League, with matches against top European teams like Chelsea and AC Milan. Notable events. The Olympiastadion held the world record for the attendance of a baseball game during the 1936 Olympics, thought to be over 100,000. Since 1985, the stadium has hosted the finals of both the DFB Pokal and its companion women's tournament, the Frauen DFB Pokal. However, it did not host the 2010 final of the Frauen DFB Pokal, which was held at Cologne's Rhein-Energiestadion as part of an experimental test to host the event in a different city. The stadium hosted 5 American Bowls between 1990 to 1994. The stadium was also home to Berlin Thunder, an American football team in NFL Europa. From 2003 until the league's operator, the U.S. National Football League, closed down the money-losing competition in 2007. The stadium also hosted the World Culture Festival. 2011 was to celebrate 30 years of service to humanity by the Art of Living Foundation. The stadium also hosts the Internationalistadion Fest, which also served as an IAAF Golden League event until 2010. The future of the event is currently unknown. The stadium hosted the 2009 World Championships in Athletics, where Usain Bolt broke the 100 meters and 200 meters world records. 1936 Summer Olympics. On August 1, 1936, the Olympics were officially inaugurated by the head of state Adolf Hitler, and the Olympic cauldron was lit by athlete Fritz Schigen. 4 million tickets were sold for all the events of the 1936 Summer Olympics. This was also the first Olympics with television transmission and radio transmissions in 28 languages. While the Olympic flame had been used for the first time in Amsterdam 1928, in Berlin 1936 a marathon-like tour of the Olympic torch was introduced. From Olympia in Greece, crossing 6 frontiers with a journey of 3,000 kilometers to Berlin, through Greece, Bulgaria, Yugoslavia, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Austria and Germany. The original idea of this Olympic torch relay was Karl Deems, who was a political advisor to propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels, specializing in Olympic affairs. The Olympics were the subject of the propaganda film Olympia by Leni Riefenstahl. Among the sport competitions, one of the most memorable events was the performance of the African-American track and field athlete Jesse Owens, representing the United States of America. Owens won the gold medal in the 100, 200 long jump and 4x100 relay. One of the main streets outside the stadium is named Jesse Owens Alley in recognition of his performance. The stadium also hosted the equestrian jumping, football, and handball events. 1974 FIFA World Cup Group A. 3 matches from Group A were played in the Olympiastadion. The third match, Australia vs Chile, was played in torrential rain. The historic match between the two German teams, however, was played in Hamburg. The hosts, West Germany, won the tournament. 2006 FIFA World Cup. The following matches were played in Berlin for the 2006 FIFA World Cup. 2011 FIFA Women's World Cup. In 2011, the Olympiastadion hosted Germany's opening match in the 2011 FIFA Women's World Cup. It was the only match in the tournament to be contested at the stadium. 2015 UEFA Champions League Final. In May 2013, the Olympiastadion was chosen as the venue for the 2015 UEFA Champions League Final, in which FC Barcelona completed a treble with the Copa del Rey and La Liga titles. Concerts. The stadium has been used for pop, rock and electronic concerts. The Rolling Stones performed at the stadium 5 times. The first one was on June 6, 1990 during the Steel Wheels Urban Jungle Tour. The second one was on August 17, 1995 during the Voodoo Lounge Tour, in front of 76,689 people. The third one was on August 26, 1998 during the Bridges to Babylon Tour, in front of of 70,900 people. The fourth one was on June 15, 2003 during the Lix Tour. The fifth one was on July 21, 2006 during the A Bigger Bang Tour, in front of a crowd of 44,989 people. Guns N' Roses performed at the stadium on May 26, 1992 during the Use Your Illusion Tour. U2 performed at the stadium 3 times. The first one was on June 15, 1993 during the Zoo TV Tour, in front of a crowd of 40,000 people. The second one was on July 7, 2005 during the Vertigo Tour, in front of a sold-out crowd of 70,443 people. The third one was on July 18, 2009 during the U2 360 Degrees Tour, in front of a sold-out crowd of 88,265 people. Michael Jackson performed at the stadium on August 1, 1997 during his History World Tour, in front of a crowd of 78,000 people. Tina Turner performed at the stadium on July 21, 2000 during her 24/7 tour, in front of a sold-out crowd of 48,977 people. Genesis performed at the stadium on July 3, 2007 during the Turn It On Again the tour. Herbert Grönemeyer performed at the stadium in 2007, 2008 and 2011. Madonna performed at the stadium on August 28, 2008 during her Sticky and Amped Sweet tour, in front of a sold-out crowd of 47,368 people. Depeche Mode performed at the stadium 2 times. The first one was on June 10, 2009 during the Tour of the Universe, in front of a sold-out crowd of 65,657 people. The second one was on June 9, 2013 during the Delta Machine Tour, in front of a sold-out crowd of 66,388 people. The 2009 show was recorded for the group's live albums project Recording the Universe. The performance of Should Be Higher from the 2013 show was filmed and released as a music video. AC/DC performed at the stadium on June 22, 2010 during the Black Ice World Tour in front of 65,958 people, and on June 25, 2015 during the Rock or Bust World Tour in front of 70,000 people. Bruce Springsteen performed at the stadium on May 30, 2012 during his Wrecking Ball World Tour, in front of a sold-out crowd of 55,491 people. He performed again on June 19, 2016 as part of the River Tour 2016 for a sold-out crowd of 66,464 people. Bon Jovi were scheduled to perform at the stadium on June 18, 2013 as part of the Because We Can, but the concert was moved to the Walled Bernie due to poor ticket sales. Ellen Fisher performed on July 4 and July 5, 2015 in front of a sold-out crowd of 120,000 people. Also, these shows were recorded for a live DVD. Coldplay is set to perform at the stadium on the 29th of June 2016 for their A Head Full of Dreams tour. Rihanna was scheduled to perform to the stadium during her Anti-World tour, but the concert was cancelled due to logistic reasons. Transport. U-Bahn. The underground train U2 takes visitors directly to the station Olympiastadion. It's a short walk from to the stadium. Average travel time, 14 minutes from Zoologischer Garten, 24 minutes from Potsdamer Platz, 34 minutes from Alexanderplatz. S-Bahn. The regional train S5 takes visitors directly to the station Olympiastadion. It's a short walk from to the stadium. Average travel time, 7 minutes from Spandau Station, 14 minutes from Zoologischer Garten, 22 minutes from Friedrichstraße, 26 minutes from Alexanderplatz. Bus with the bus lines M49 and 218 visitors can reach the stop Flato Wally. It's a short walk from the to the stadium. With the bus line 104 visitors can reach the underground station Oi West End. For there it's a walk directly to the stadium. Visitors also can take the underground train and exit at the station Olympiastadion.